Hello, everyone. Welcome to the KERIS sharing session. Feel free to get comfy first. We'll be starting in a few minutes. Okay. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to everyone. Today is our final day of the KERIS virtual sharing series, and the chapter we'll be covering today is about securing scholarships. Okay, so don't worry, this is not a lecture, it's just a chill sharing session. So grab a snack if you want. Kalau not, just get comfortable and let's chat with our scholars. And I hope everyone can gain something out of this session. Okay? Okay, so my name is Nur Alia. Yeah, I know a boring name, but it's just Alia, like that's it. And I'll be your moderator for tonight. Some things about me. I'm a PETRONAS scholar and I'm currently studying A levels at College Yayasan UM. And a few other of our speakers are also from QIUM, so you'll be meeting them later. And tonight, we are going to be diving into one of the most frequently asked questions after SPM, which is how do I get a scholarship? And especially since results are right around the corner, right? It's this Thursday, I heard. So I pray all the best and good luck for that. And so we as scholars and as students right now, we want to do all we can to help you guys and at least give you a little bit of guidance because we also needed it a lot when we were in your shoes, when we were getting our results and we're really scared. So we completely understand how you feel. Okay, so whether you're aiming for JPA-MARA, PNB Global Scholarship, PETRONAS, Yayasan Terengganu, and all the other scholarships in between, whether you know them or not, this session is for you. And especially, we have brought to you speakers who went through all the phases and have secured their scholarships of today, and we'll be sharing it with you. So at KERIS, which is the Kelantan Education Resources Initiative for Students, we are all about, KERIS is all about making sure students, especially students from Kelantan, but all around Malaysia, get access to the right information, guidance, and support. So tonight, we are so lucky to be joined by four inspiring scholars who successfully secured their prestigious scholarships. And they'll share with you what the process was like, what they wish they knew, and how you can increase your own chances. Because I would say every scholarship is different in its own way. And so depending on maybe you're targeting one or you want to apply to all of them and you want to know how you can gain benefits from each one, then better tune in. Okay, I'll be introducing briefly our speakers for tonight, but you get to know them more from their individual presentations. Okay, so our first speaker of the night is Mohammad Haikal Afiq bin Muhammad Hussin from Intech Education College and is currently a JPA-MARA scholar. That's you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, I'll introduce the speakers first, okay? Then our second speaker will be Nur Syazwina Amani Binti Saiful Aznee, a PNB Global Scholar, currently at KYUM, also studying A-levels. Hey, Amani. Okay. Our third speaker is a PETRONAS scholar, Amir Nafiz bin Rozaini, also studying A-levels at KYUM. Amir, are you here? Yeah, that's Amir. Okay, and our fourth speaker of the night will be Muhammad Luqman Hakim bin Rudy Hermanto, currently studying in University Malaya and is a Yayasan Terengganu scholar. Luqman Hakim, are you here or not yet? Okay, it's okay. I guess we'll see him later. All right. Okay, so without further ado, I think we can go to our first speaker for the night. So, Haikal Afiq, the floor is yours.
All right. Uh, am I audible? Can you hear my voice? All right. Thank you.
Yes, you can.
All right. So, hi everyone. Welcome to the first sharing session for this night. So, I'm Mohammad Haikal Afiq bin Mohammad Hussin, and you can just call me Haikal. Right now, I'm doing American Degree Transfer Program, which simply ADTP in course economics. So I'm currently in my second years, doing my semester 5 right now. I have another one semester before I fly. And then for this session, I will be sharing about JPA-MARA scholarships. So just a little bit introduction about myself. I come from Lahadatul Sabah, and I'm currently studying at the Intech Education College, which there are many other scholars and also there are many others people that going to multiple countries in Intech. I think we can go to the next slide. Right. So for first of all, for JPA-MARA, they offer like so many types and country for the scholarship. So you can choose by your own, like you want to go to the like English language country, or like you want to go to like Japan, Korea, or even you want to study medic. Because I realized that nowadays that like not so many scholarship offered for medic, right? So one of it that offers for medic courses is JPMR itself. But don't worry, there are so many other fields that offered by JPMR, even you are not from science stream. So next slide. So basically, this is roughly what are the courses or like what country that offered by the JPMR itself. So as you can see in the slides, they offer in Academic Japan, UK, US, has India, New Zealand, and another local universities. So basically, when you apply for the scholarship itself, they will ask you like you want to apply for the which country and also which courses, and then after that you will submit your applications that might include your details and some tests that I will reveal after this. So they not only offer STEM subjects like engineering or science tech, and even though you are science stream students who wants to transitioning to another field, like me myself, I take nine subject which including the biology, chemistry, and so on. But for right now, I'm changing to art stream, which economics courses. So it's up to you, and you are free to choose any course that you want after you are finished with your SPM. But it depends with your passion. All right. I think next slide. Okay, so for the overview of this stages for the applications, the first stages is including for the filling the details, and also there is like the psychometry test like that. And then for the psychometry test, I think some people like will tell you like answer it based on yourself, or like really be true to yourself. But I think one of another aspect that you need to rethink when you answer this situation is uh, you must just be positive, and which one you think is good, you just take it lah. So like you're not a bad person. But however, there are some several questions like for this one, if you can see in question 2029, I think the first question, if you can see, which said that saya hampir tidak pernah mempunyai keinginan untuk memarahi orang lain. So I think for these questions, it like tests your like kejujuran, right? So I think like you yourself like have lived for like 18 years old. It must be times that you feel angry, you have the anger feeling. So if you answer yes, you never feel that, it means that you are being dishonest to yourself, and the assessor can know lah about it. So that's one I think the tips for stage one. So for the next stage, next slide please. Hello, test. Next slide. All right. Okay, so after you have submit all of your details and psychometric test, I think they have like around 1 month for the application results after the stage one, and then you will be given results through emails or like check it through the portal, and then they will inform you lah either you are layak for penilaian SSC, which I think for people in Semenanjung, they will ask you to come to unit 10 if I'm not mistaken. But in my case, I'm Sabahan, so like in our case we are gathering at the Kota Kinabalu, KK. They have like the government institution there, and they conduct the penilaian SSC. So for the penilaian SSC, I think uh, there is some several tips that you must follow, like the dress codes. For dress code for the JPA-MARA scholarship, they ask you to wear like sports attire. Yeah, you need to wear the collar thread, and also like uh, track shirt, track pants, and also for the boys especially, you need to tuck in your t-shirts and then button up your button, and also make sure your hair is proper during the interview. All right, next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Sorry. Next slide, please.
Technical team, is everything okay?
All right. Uh, okay, so for the interview stage, okay, thank you. For the interview stage, you have like a big group in a team. So in my case, I've applied to 8 scholarships before, and I end up with 3 physicals interview. And then some of it like Petronas, YTP-MARA, and JPA-MARA. I think for the uh, people in Semenanjung, they ask you to come to like uh, interview sessions in Klang Valley, I think. So I think it's kind of become a hard time for some people's like I have friends that from Pantai Timur and some that are far from the Klang Valley itself. It's quite taking a long time to reach to the interview sessions, but I think you just go for it if you are selected for interview, because you not going to know like which of the interview that you will be succeed, and just try your best for all of the interview. So for the JPMR interview itself, we have like two stage of interview. So basically, it have stage one for individual interview, and then the stage two is grouping interview. Next slide, please. Okay, so for the individual interview, they will ask you some questions that are related to your personals and not require you like really higher thinking skills, but it somehow represents yourself and then what values that you will bring or you offer to the assessor itself or like to the government itself if you are selected for the interview. So like for the individual sessions, you are asked some question like, oh, why you choose the course? Like for example, I applied for the economics, and then like what's the significance of the courses and what you can bring to the country if you are selected and come back to Malaysia after that. And then another question like why we need to choose you, like why not other people that they choose for sending to abroad and come back to Malaysia. And then like I said before, is the contribution that you are planning to do like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And then there are some situation that they will ask you some uh, question that related in future situation. Like for example, how you handle the culture shock if you are sent to the country, and then another question like why is that country, like if you choose UK, why UK, why not US, and then why if you choose US, why studying in US, why not just studying in local uni, and so on. And in my case, they even ask like what university that you prefer if you are selected to that country, and then your reason behind it lah. So and then the second stage we have like the group stage, which we are some argumentative topics, and you are required to like I think like debate, but not really debate. It's like a forum of discussions where your opinion is like freely discussed, and there are uh, no one is wrong or no one is right in that rooms, and you are free to give your opinion from any sides. So for examples, for Undi 18, like why you choose like Undi 18 is a good choice for the country. Isn't like uh, the people at age 18 is too young, or is it an acceptable age for voting? So you must choose your stand and be firm with your stance. So these are some of several other topics that can be asked, and this even comes up in the interview, in my friend's interview lah. Okay, so basically for this type of question, you just need to do a lot of research and do a lot of readings for the current situations in our country. Okay, next stage. Okay, so these are some tips and advice. So I just explain this briefly. So you must have like the confidence, especially when you are talking, because everyone in the rooms is also have the same nervous and worried as you. So in order to ensure you are stay calm and you looks more like uh, more likely in the interview sessions, you need to be confident so they will know, oh, this individuals is ready and is prepared for the interview. And then it relates to my second point, which be prepared. You need to do readings and read a lot of questions, or even like join KERIS itself is like one of your preparations to prepare for the interview, because from joining this you can see a lot of scholars from many others companies, or even the scholarship institutions. And then you need to have like a good of race and just enjoy your interview sessions, because if you are not enjoying it, you will be like feel angry or like uh feeling stressed about it. And then the second last is the dress code. As I mentioned before, there's some institute that require you for formal dress codes like the Petronas and Bank Negara. And last but not least is you need to be considerate and accept the others' opinions in your group, because like everyone in the group might not have the same view or stance as you. So one of my tips is like you need to be agree or taking some points from the other individuals and might relate it to your points. So it shows that, oh, you actually heard what other people's uh, tell about their stance, and not just focus on yourself and not just thinking on your stance when other people's are talking. So that is one of the last tips for the interview. All right. So next. Okay. So I think there will be a phase after you apply for many scholarships. And in my case, I applied to 8 scholarships, and several of the scholarship that come out earlier is the scholarship that I got rejected. So some of it is like YK itself, Yayasan Kazana, and even I went to conditions in before, and that there I was still don't secure any scholarships and still waiting, but uh, uh, gratefully I still accepted to some. But I think if you if you are not accepted to the particular scholarships, or like the scholarship that you have been dreaming since you are 13, or even you are since primary schools, or whatsoever, I think you must take a look like what the things that you can do better, or like you can be careful, because you still can further your tertiary educations in universities, either it taking preparation to overseas, or like doing the local programs. All right. So next. So last from me, I think I could say is rejection is redirections, because last time personally, since I was, I think, 14 years old or like 15 years old, I was dreaming to go to like further my studies doing A levels in any of institutions, and coming from a schools that doesn't really expose to these kind of things, to scholarships or whatsoever. Even I'm looking to my seniors, but none of them, I think almost none of them is uh, securing scholarships, or like going to overseas. But there's one of my seniors that I think become like uh, become my idol like that. And then I told my 15 years old self that I want to further my studies doing A level in KYUM when I was in Form 3. However, it's like all of the scholarship that I've applied to KYUM is rejected, and here I am right now in Intech, and gratefully God still gave me the opportunities to like join many other events or opportunities outside from my current places. And I think there's like some valuable things, and a thing that you can take a look when you are rejected from the things. So uh, whenever you are places, like even you are not secured any of your scholarships to oversee. Even you are going to local programs, you just embrace the places and the opportunities that you have, and grab all the opportunities that they offered. Or in my case, intake itself actually they doesn't have like much opportunities and doesn't really active in extracurriculars or like events. So most of the programs and events that I've done is based on my own initiative and looking for the programs and asking from my connections for the events. So I think that's all from me, and I think we will meet at the Q&A sessions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Haikal. I think that was a very insightful sharing. And it's so true that rejection is just redirection. And you just have to seize every opportunity that you have. And I think it's so great that you like pursue opportunities outside of just school and what has been handed to you, and instead you seek it out yourself. I think that's really a great thing to do. And yeah, if any of you guys have any questions you'd like to ask Haikal or any of the other speakers, soon you can just drop them in the chat box or anything you'd like want to have a chat with them. All right. So that being said, thank you, Haikal. So our next speaker for the night is a PNB Global Scholar currently studying A levels at KYUM with the name of Nur Syazwina Amani Binti Saiful Aznee. So Amani, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Andrea, for the introduction. Uh, so while we're waiting for like to pop up, I'm just going to tell you guys that it's an interesting place. So if you guys manage to get there, then well, I'm looking forward to meeting you guys. So I think like before that, introductions are a must, right? And since the flight is already here, so I'll just go straight away to introductions. Like stated before, my name is Amani and PMB Global Scholar, currently studying A levels at KYUM. And if everything goes well, inshallah, I'll be pursuing electrical and electronic engineering, either them or in the United States. So I went to school at Saiful, which is a boarding school at Johor, and I took around like 9 subjects. All of them are pure sciences. And if you do actually want to reach out to me for further inquiries regarding scholarship and everything, you can reach out to me through my IG or through my LinkedIn. But for IG in particular, I won't be as active because I'll be focusing on my AS examination, which is around the corner. So there are instructions there for you to. All right, so I guess we can move on to the next slide then. All right, so in particular, we have around 5 stages, and the duration of the whole process spans around is quite a big for you to the fast one. And just really that every process that you for different you are clear that they all are. And one thing in particular that would be unique to PND is that it has like 3 sections for you to write, I would say, lengthily about firstly your essay on your experiences that have made you or shaped you as who you are today. So the question might differ from year to year, but for my year in particular, it was about the experiences that have made me the person who I am today. And during that particular like segment, I actually did reach out to a few, I would say, mentors to through the process and actually to basically look at my essay and to proofread because it's very essential for you to submit a very good essay, right? So it's always best for you to have someone to read through it and someone who can basically give you very constructive criticism in order for you to improve. But apart from that, there were also 2 other parts that you have to write. It firstly is for your computer skills, and secondly is for your other skills. So it might differ for your year in particular, but for my year it was that. So next slide, please. All right. So during your secondary school, I know that all of you have participated in some of activity, right? So it's always best for you document or some notes on your experiences so that you can essentially try to align and highlight experiences that are very resonating of what GNB stands for. And in this case, it has its own acronym called BRAVE, Brave. So if you have any experiences where you have shown responsibility, for instance, do highlight them in your essay so that it stands out more and make sure that you are a candidate that fits the vision that PMB is actually championing, right? All right, so moving on then to the next slide. So in stage two, you have submitted documents and your essay, then you will be given this particular email, which is the gamified assessment. So similar to Petronas, you're going to play a few games, but for PNB in particular, you have around like 6 games, and they'll give you like a link for you to practice these games on. So it's very sufficient enough practice really, because they'll be giving it like 2 to 3 days before your actual assessment. So you have ample time to practice and basically know like what your hands should be doing at that point. So moving on then to the third stage is that we're going to go a location that they specify. So on-site scholarship assessment would be very much similar to how you would a normal interview to go. But in this case, there are two, I would say, points that you have to note of, that you would have like a gaming assessment, meaning to say that you're a team and you guys have to basically play a game together and essentially try to get the best result out of it. So the games might differ from year to year, but in my own experience, uh, the game it was both, I would say, navigate game, and then thirdly, it was a pseudo Hunger Game type of game. There were, backstabbing happening and, thinking about strategy. So all of um, that and bring to that uh, the the second part is that you would have an assessment on your speaking capabilities. So essentially, when you're speaking, right, you have like this particular instance. Oh, you could lagging eh? Is it because of the internet? Wait. All right. Is it still lagging? Hello? Is it still lagging? If it's still lagging, then I think I have to try to change my internet. No, okay, okay. So
I
I'm
mean,
so sorry. Yeah,
I mean, maybe you could close your camera. Maybe that would make it better. Because the internet is bad.
raining right. That's why. Like, All right. Hello, everybody. Am I audible now? All right. Cool. Sorry, what happened? Okay, guys, I feel I have to speed run through this. So, okay, stage one was basically essay application. You can reach out to me for anything regarding that. Second part is that you have to do like a game. It's similar to Petronas. You have six games, and it's going to have you basically answer all of these games in a time frame, which is something that you can basically practice a lot on because they give you like the link for it. And then stage three is an on-site scholarship assessment. So you'll be given like two main parts that you have to do. Firstly is the gaming part. So the gaming part is very important to show your, leadership capabilities, to show that you're a good team player and that you're not someone who is selfish. So the gaming part, if possible, be the leader, be the head of the operation. But if not, then that is okay. Just be someone who contributes a lot to the team, all right? And then the second part is going to be about how you present your points, how you talk, how you respond to questions. So basically, they're going to give you like a prompt. Rather, it's going to be something that is quite complex. It's either in the economic, political, or social realm. So you're going to be given like a lot of time to basically research about it. And then after you've given your speech to the assessor, then the assessor will give you like a few questions for you to answer at the end of your speech. So moving on then to the next slide. So the next slide is going to be about like, the locations that you will be given for the assessments, the interview. So we have the old and new PNB building, but it is based on like the regions that you are based on. So for me, I was based in Selangor. So essentially I got to go to the old PNB building for my stage 3 assessment, and then the Merdeka 118 building for my last stage assessment. So like for my friend in Kedah, she'll be given like a site in a local school. So that's, catered towards her location. Next slide, please. So after you have passed your third stage, then you're going to be given the resilience and battery test. So the resilience and battery test is very important for them to assess like whether or not you're good mathematically, your linguistical skills is up to par to comprehend very complex texts, and also regarding like inductive reasoning, right? So that would be similar to like the Pemata Pinta like assessment if you have seen it before. And then the battery test is something that you can see in other scholarship bodies like Yayasan Hazana, YTM, and some others. For instance, you're going to see it over and over again. But the resilience test in particular is basically like an assessment to how much stress you can handle in any particular situation, right? So next is going to be the final interview. So the final interview is very interesting because it's where you're going to be grouped up with random people that you don't know before, but you have to basically stand out, right? And in this instance, in my particular case, I was grouped in a group where I was the only girl, so that was unexpected. So basically, first thing that you have to know is expect the unexpected. And during my interview, we were given like a few basic questions like, introducing yourself, why you chose this course, how can you contribute to PNB, and maybe they will throw you like a curveball at the end, around the end regarding like, the political climate of the United States, for instance. So I was asked about like, who do you think will win the presidential election in the United States, and what are the economic impacts of them winning? So moving on to the next slide would be the announcement. So after you have basically gone through all of the assessments, all of them for around 2 months, then you're going to get this particular email saying, congratulations, greetings from PNB, you're accepted to this very interesting body that garners a lot of things. So yeah, I'll be going to a few personal details after this particular slide. So next slide, please. All right, okay, so what does the PNB Global Scholarship cover? Too long didn't read a lot. So it covers all the basic things like your tuition, your registration, your books, accommodation, yada, yada. You also be given a monthly allowance. And all of these are things that you can expect from the PNB Global Scholarship. And for the undergraduate, I would say coverage is a lot more because you're going to go abroad, of course. And for legal reasons, I can't really give you the exact figures, but they're a lot, trust me. Okay, so moving on then to the next slide. Okay. The next slide is going to be how to stand out. So in my particular instance, I actually reached out to my assessor and she told me that they liked how calm I was, even though the situation was like very, tense, because they, during the interview, the assessors will grill you a lot. So in order for you to basically stand out is to just remain calm, even though your heart is racing and beating so fastly. Just show that on your face that you're calm, nonchalant. So other than that, I think like the normal interview, I would say mindset is to be calm, collected, and don't forget to practice your delivery, because your delivery is important. Try to not stutter, try to be very confident, but don't be cocky, because remember that they're assessing your character to be, whether or not you're a good fit for PNB, which is also why you're going to pursue the scholarship at the end of the day, right? So moving on to the next.
Yeah, tak teguh.
Why I choose PNB. So I did apply for other scholarship bodies, and the ones that I got that are similar to the course that I wanted is for electrical electronic engineering, right? I got also from Yayasan Terengganu Malaysia and Yayasan Terengganu National. So why I choose PNB today is that PNB has a very supportive environment, and because I want to go to a university abroad, right? It's always good to have like a central office for you to communicate with your scholarship body. So PNB has a UK office, and that's very nice. So you have like a tight-knit community abroad, so you don't feel alone. And then PNB is very great at basically managing their talents, meaning to say that even after you like basically finish your degree, you're going to be given a period of management training program. So they're basically going to like fast track you to become a director or manager for the company. And then like if you want to pursue your master's or maybe professional certificates, like the certificate for financial analysis, like everything that you can think of, they're going to support you as long as you meet the requirements of a good undergraduate GPA. And then you'll be given like the bonding ratio of like 1 to 2. So it means that for every single year that you're studying locally, you're going to serve 1 year. And then for every single year that you're going to study abroad, that will be 2 years. So for me, for instance, is I'm going to study like engineering for 4 years. My total bonding would be around like 8 to 10 years. So I think getting a job in this economy is very important. So having the actual safety net that PNB provides is very important for me, because I have a guaranteed spot for serving back and having an actual job at the end of the day. So next slide. And I think that's actually it. All right, thank you everybody for listening throughout me yapping. So if you have any questions like before, ask me in the Q&A, and if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me through my socials. All right, thank you everybody.
Thank you so much, Amani. And that is so true. Getting a job in this economy is very much important. And it's also true what you said, that there's a very fine line between being confident and not boasting and being cocky, because yeah, you want to present the best version of yourself, but not in a way that is obnoxious and does not make people comfortable to be around you. So yeah, thank you, Amani, for that sharing. So without further ado, and not wasting any more time, let us invite our third speaker of the night, Amir Nafiz bin Rozaini, a PETRONAS scholar currently studying A-levels, also at College Yayasan UM. Okay, Amir, the floor is yours.
Hello, am I audible? Is the audio okay?
Yes.
Yes, all is good. Okay, thank you. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and salam sejahtera to everyone tuning in tonight. Can we move on to the next slide, terus? Boleh tak? Okay. So my name is Amir Nafiz bin Rozaini. I'm currently I'm currently studying my A-levels at College Yayasan UEM and plan to pursue a major in economics. I graduated from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Amir Baki, and yeah, currently I'm in KY. So today I'm going to be sharing with all of you regarding the PETRONAS Education Sponsorship Program, or just the PETRONAS Scholarship. So can we move on to the next slide? Okay, now the first thing that I'll be touching on regarding the PETRONAS Scholarship is the application process. Now, rejoice, the application process for PETRONAS is fortunately not as complicated as other scholarships. So first, all you have to do is actually apply once you get the scholarship.
sorry, not get a scholarship. Once you get your SPM results, then you start applying. And then the process of application here is very important for you to have already, begun the process of collecting your documents, all your certificates, your birth certificate, your parents' IC, parents' punya payslip, and then you also have to certify. You must make sure that you have certified true copies of your documents, meaning that for most of us, we can just go to our high school principal and get their chop and their signature, and then it's already certified. Okay, but then there's an entire list of individuals who have the authority to certify your documents. But for us high school students, it's more easier to just get it from your principal. Yeah, and then after the application, if you are shortlisted, then you will have the personality assessments. Now there are 3 parts to the PETRONAS personality assessments, which I will go into a bit more detail after this. But as a rundown, first, it's mainly games. Actually, you'll be surprised. It's mainly just games. So the whole process for PETRONAS is actually very chill. So the first one is more of a personality type punya game where you are selecting pictures that align with you as a person. Yeah, it's like one of those things you do on Google, right? But that's what PETRONAS does as well. And then second would be a numeracy game where you just have to click on numbers. I kid you not, they'll just show like the easiest mathematical equations, and then you just have to click numbers. And then third would be a kind of block game. It's like an IQ test, those kind of things you do on Google as a kid. Yeah, same things. And then after those games, if you are shortlisted, you'll be selected for the interview, a group interview held at the PETRONAS Leadership Center in Bangi. And then afterwards, about a month after your interview, you will get your results, whether you get the scholarship or not. So we can move on to the next slide. All right, so now I'll be delving deeper into the actual assessments and interviews for the PETRONAS scholarship. Actually, as I already mentioned just now, I thought I was just going to give a brief rundown, but okay. So the games, as I explained earlier, it's very simple. The numeracy games is just going to test basic mathematical ability, but there's like a time limit. So you have to try and get the highest score possible within the given amount of time. So for me, being a gamer, right, after my SPM, I didn't go do any work. I didn't go for internship. I just sit at home. I play games. So when I found out that PETRONAS was just going to make me play games, I was locked in. I tried to get the highest score possible. And I think that's a tip for this these fun and interactive games done by PETRONAS is just go in there with the intention to get like the highest score possible. And then same goes also for the IQ test games. For the IQ test kind of games, it's just like games where you have to select like the matching blocks or select like the blocks that match the pattern. It's all those kind of games you find on the internet. Back when I was a kid, I used to do those IQ tests when you game, and then I would get 120. I'll be so happy. Then I found out 120 is like your average child. Okay, but here comes the important part, because after you're actually done with the games and assessments, and then you're shortlisted for the next stage, which is the group interview session. So the group interview session is mainly centered around a case study. So unlike other scholarships where you're going to be asked like rather individual questions, for us we have 2 sessions, like 2 parts to the interview lah. But it's all with the same case study question. Now, actually, before I continue, a case study is basically it's just going to be like a given situation that is related to current ongoing like issues around the world. For example, the situation and the case study that I was given during my interview was about the circular economy and how we as individuals can promote other people to follow the circular economy. And if you want to know more about that, just do your own research first, or you can contact me later because we don't have much time. So basically, the first part of the interview is individual, where you have to answer about several individual questions on your own regarding the case study. Okay, you'll already be provided there. So you just have to answer based on what points you've gathered. They will give you time to think of your own points. Okay, so then everyone in the group is either 4 or 5 people. Everyone in the group will answer their questions one by one. And then once everyone is done, now then moves on to the second part of the interview, which is like the grouped question. where for my case study, if I'm not mistaken, if memory serves me well, the question was to come up with a project how we as a group can influence and empower citizens in rural areas like area kampung, how we can promote them to follow the circular economy. And and then we just have to answer, discuss. We're given about 20 minutes, discuss it as a group, and then come up with the combined answer. So can we go to the next slide? Okay, so that was it about the assessment and interview. Trust me, that is literally it for Petronas. Just a few games, and then they interview. The interview, they won't even ask you about like your personal life. Like they really don't. They just give you the case study, you answer the individual in the group, and you're done. Although the entire interview session takes about 1 hour. So yeah. But then moving on, what does PESP actually offer, and what does it cover? First, here are the courses that they offer for Petronas. They offer for both local and for overseas. And then, as you can see here, they offer chemical engineering, mechanical, electrical engineering, instrumentation, petroleum geoscience, petroleum engineering, computer science, and so on and so forth. Okay, next slide, please. All right. And then here, I'm sorry if it's not clear, but these are just the list of universities. Yeah, it's really not clear. I'm sorry for that. But basically, these are just the list of universities that Petronas will send their overseas scholars. Like, for example, in the United States, there are universities such as Harvard, Stanford, University of Pennsylvania, Berkeley, MIT, UK, Cambridge, Oxford, Imperial. And then kat Malaysia also, this one is for the local scholars, of course. There's University Technology Petronas, University Malaya, Wollongong, and then other places as well. Australia also, we have University of Sydney, University of Melbourne, University of Adelaide, China, South Korea, Japan, and then New Zealand. So this is the list. If you want a clearer picture, you can reach out to me. I'll share it to you. Okay, next slide. And then these are also the allowances that Petronas covers. For legal reasons, I cannot share the exact figures, but the allowances include, your living allowance, basically your time throughout, like let's say you're studying in KYUEM like me, a living allowance is basically the allowance you'll get after a certain period of time. And then the onboarding allowance is when, for those like, that's like the first, for those like your first time coming into the sponsorship program, you'll get an onboarding allowance, you get allowance for your books, and then overseas subsistence. For those going overseas, you'll get an even higher allowance depending on the country that you're going to. And then you also get allowance for university application, because applying to universities, especially to overseas universities, also takes quite a lot of money. For example, if I were to apply to universities in the United States, applying to just 5 universities can cost, I think it's over 1,000 ringgit already, just to apply, not even to go there and study there. Just to apply, just to click a few buttons on your laptop already takes like 1,000 or 2,000 ringgit. And then we have end of study allowance for your visa, your insurance. And then compassionate allowance are for those, any scholars going through any unfortunate circumstances or any hardships. Petronas is also always ready to help them. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, there are also some conditions. Trust me, there is a longer list of terms and conditions, but that one, save it for when you get the scholarship, you will see for yourself. But basically, just like any other form, just like most scholarships, you will be bonded. For Petronas, it's going to be a bond for 5 years. But honestly, who wants to leave Petronas, right? So when you're done with your studies, you're bonded to work with Petronas. And then, okay, you're not allowed to take up any external jobs or internships without consulting with Petronas first. So basically, when you're with Petronas, anything that you want to do, you want to go for a job or an internship, or you want to go for shadowing, or you want to join a TV program, you want to join you want to join a TV program or a radio show, talking about your scholarship, you have to get permission and consult with Petronas beforehand. And then it also brings me to my next point, where you're not allowed to have any public showcase of your political stance, which includes, I know it might be a bit controversial, but it includes, being involved with your rallies and protests, if not just Petronas, I think most, if not all, of the scholarships strictly advise the scholars not to be involved with any political activities that may bring down the image or reputation or might bring the sponsorship body to question. Okay, and then of course, just like any other scholarship, you have to meet your sponsor requirements. For example, I'm taking A levels. My requirement 3A. Kalau tak score 3A, zip, nada, gone. Petronas pays a lot. You just have to meet the requirements that they give you. That's just how it works. You give and take. Yeah. Next slide, please. Okay, now the big question: what made me stand out? For the Petronas scholarship, I think I stood out most during the group interview, where this is a part of the Petronas journey that I really put a lot of thought and effort into. Where basically I got a lot of advice from my family, especially both my parents. Both my parents were also Petronas scholars, and they helped to advise me a lot regarding the interview. And I think there are three aspects that I really showcased that helped me to stand out during my interview, and which I believe can serve as a lesson to all of you planning to apply as well. Which first would be leadership. Now I remember when we were given the group question, about coming up with a project to promote to people in the rural areas, my group started to go into a panic. Like they just started saying points, they just started giving ideas, but nobody had any idea on how to actually arrange them, or who or which idea we're actually going to follow, because this one is giving one idea, this one says we need to do a competition, this one says we need to work with the government, and then everyone is confused, everyone will start arguing. So I took the initiative, and I took the initiative to sort of become the leader of the group. Not like outright saying like, okay, I jadi leader. No. But I just started to facilitate the discussion between all members of my groups. I allowed, this brings me to my next point, which is having inclusivity, practicing inclusivity within the interview, which basically means that hearing out all the points and ideas from every member of the group, so that they don't feel left out, or they feel that their ideas are not being taken into account. So I remember as the so-called leader of the group, I let everyone by turn, give out their ideas, and then we all discuss whether or not it is applicable, and we are able to carry on with it in order to answer the question. And then lastly, I believe the final aspect that made me stand out was my confidence. Just like Amani said earlier, there's a difference between having confidence and being cocky. I try my very best not to be cocky, because, for example, someone being cocky during an interview would be somebody who would instantly shut down the opinions of their group members, or somebody who just simply likes to boast about their achievements during the interview. That's someone who is cocky. But someone who is confident is someone who is able to deliver their points and deliver their speeches well as being able to hear out the rest of the members of their group, combining all of their answers to come with a mutual agreement, and to showcase to the people interviewing you that you are able to work together as a team. So these are, for me, the most important aspects that made me stand out. And as a result, out of the 5 members in my group interview, 4 of us, including myself, managed to secure an overseas scholarship, except for one person who got only local scholarship. So yeah. Next slide, please. Okay, now which scholarships did I apply for? Now, I may be sitting here running my mouth, but actually I did apply to many scholarships, such as Yayasan Terengganu, Yayasan UUM, Yayasan Khazanah, JPA-MARA, PNB, Bank Negara, and many more. But I kid you not, I got rejected from every single one of them except Petronas. So there's not a lot that I can share about the journey for these scholarships, because a lot of scholarship bodies like PNB and Bank actually didn't even take me into consideration. They just ghosted me for 2 months and then rejected me later on. But as our first speaker, Haikal, said, rejection is redirection. And I believe that God has, put me on the right path and chosen the Petronas scholarship as the right one for me. So just because you get rejected from one scholarship doesn't mean that your journey is over. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. Okay, and this is my advice for everyone. I know I gave a list here, but I feel like I think there are some more tips that I want to give based on each part of the process. But first, basically, is to conduct a sufficient research. Do your reading, do your research. What shall we research about? Firstly, research about the scholarships that you want to apply to. Let's say in this case, research about PETRONAS. Research everything there is to the PETRONAS scholarship, and not just the scholarship. Research about the PETRONAS company. You know, what is their company about? What is the PETRONAS company's core values? What are the current projects that PETRONAS is following through with? You know, what are the current updates that happen with PETRONAS? You know, getting updated about the Putra Heights incident and how PETRONAS worked as a team to handle that situation, you know, getting updated on these ongoing issues, and then doing your reading. Let's say you want to pursue economics with PETRONAS, but you don't do your research and reading on economics. How are you going to show during your interviews, you know, that you are someone who they can choose to pursue this major that you've chosen when you didn't put any effort to gain more general knowledge regarding this topic to showcase that you have the passion? So please do your research and reading. Okay, and then next, to practice for the interview, basically, there's a lot of resources online, on YouTube, on social media, where you can get a lot of past questions from previous years, or you can watch a lot of videos preparing you on how to answer and get ready for these interviews. Even, you know, coming for these workshops is a way for you to learn how to practice for the interview. And then another way is to get your help from your family and your friends to conduct a mock interview by yourselves at home, you know, so that you can practice, you know, being in that real situation, so that you don't get nervous or fumble your words on the given day. Okay, and then next, during your interview, please dress smart. You do not want to be known as the person who came to the interview in slippers and shorts, because you'd never know. The people that come for this interview could be your future schoolmate, your future university mate, your future co-workers. And you do not want to have a bad reputation with that. And you want to showcase your professionalism and maturity. Okay, dah habis SPM ni, you're no longer a child, you're turning 18, you have to practice more maturity and professionalism. And then lastly, mingle around. As I said, these people are coming for the interview are going to be your future schoolmates or co-workers. So please mingle around with them. You never know, in the future, these connections that you build and these networks that you build early on will help you significantly in many ways. So move on to the next slide. And yeah, that's all from me. If you have any more questions, I tahu some people malu sikit nak tanya kat sini. Okay, even though you shouldn't be, you can contact me on my IG or on my LinkedIn. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amir. This is a great sharing of experience. I know you experienced a lot. Okay, I think now everyone is just inspired to apply for Petronas just to play the games. Like honestly, just apply so you can play the games. It's also fun. And then comes the interview. That's not that important. Okay. So thank you so much, Amir. So now, without further ado, let us invite our last but very not least speaker for the night, a Yayasan Terengganu scholar, Mohammad Luqman Hakim bin Rudy Hermanto, which is currently studying in University Malaya. Okay, Luqman, the floor is yours. Luqman, I think your mic is not on.
Sorry, I just take a while for setting up. Okay. Do you guys hear my voice
Yes, we can now.
clearly? Did my voice sounds clearly or not?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Luqman, and I know when you guys heard Yayasan Terengganu scholarship, it's maybe you thoughts or maybe it's for Terengganoians. No, maybe yes, but I'm here for being a representative for any state scholarship. Like every state have their own scholarship, right? Like Yayasan Sabah, Yayasan Sarawak, and for my own Yayasan Terengganu. And can we go to the next slide? Okay, so for introduction, I would like to introduce myself first. Just because, yeah, I want to ensure that you guys trust me that I have the credibility to deliver this content for you guys. And move to the next slide, please. Okay, my name is Mohammad Hakim bin Rudy Hermanto, and currently I'm studying at University Malaya for my course that is physical science. And my age is 19 years old, and you guys can contact me at Instagram. That is Alliance LIMSU underscore triple underscore. And I'm actually a person that really interested in innovation and speech. That's mean if I have an idea or thoughts, I would like to share with everyone. Just like what I do now, I have a experience for scholarship application, so I do like to share with you guys. And for my degree, it's quite unique. If my performance is to meet the Yayasan Terengganu scholarship, I will be awarded for local studies for actuarial science. That what I got. But if my performance and my extracurricular is beyond their requirement, I will be awarded for my overseas studies at University of Queensland, Australia. That is for my first degree, that is statistics. Can we move to the next slide? Okay, so firstly, I am from MRSM Pekalan Cepul, Kota Baru, at Kelantan Zoo, even though I'm Terengganu. And Alhamdulillah, I'm graduate with flying colors, that is with GPA 3.76 from MRSM. I have learned a lot. That is, I got exposure how university system will actually works. So move to the next slide. And now I'm currently study at University Malaya and doing my foundation. And listen, I pray for you guys at 24. I pray to get the best results, and also I pray for you guys to get scholarship for your own study, so that you guys can less your burden, less your family burden for your financial studies. But after you get scholarship, just don't put your time to only for studies. Use your time at your foundation or your pre-university to fulfill it with any more many activities you can do. Just like what I do, unless then other than I'm just being active in my class and do lab report and experiment with my tutor mates, I'll also explore what my university could offer, just like innovation competition. And also I meet a lot of famous people, or like Ajar at this picture. Okay. Mm, can you guys move to the next slide? So what I mean by being active is I just want you guys to remember, stay active and stay around the individual even though you get the scholarship. For what? To ensure that your soft skill is still keeping sharp. And Alhamdulillah, during my foundation, in only 6 months, I got a few certificate for my extracurricular. That's why I'm doing this, even though I got the scholarship, is for my own requirement for my Yayasan Terengganu, that if I got a significant or proud proud achievement, I will get the chance to study overseas. Can we move to the next slide? And yes, even though I am focused on extracurricular, of course, we need to stay perform in our exam, right? So Alhamdulillah, for my first semester, I got 4 flight for my first semester result, and that's actually really show the importance why we need to keep around it after we get scholarship, just to ensure that our capability every, in every sector is keep sharp. Move to the next slide. Okay, before we go to the application process, I want to share a thoughts for you guys. Put in your mind that rejection is redirection. Yes, I know the first panel is already put it, but I just want to add up a little bit. Just trust that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has give you or put something special for you guys. And what for the simplify this, since our first panel already talked about this, so I want to simplify put your 100% effort, but put the lowest expectation, because we never know. Maybe we thought we will study economics for our first degree, but maybe Allah Subhanahu wa Taala wants us to study statistics. So just give your best for everything and put the lowest expectation, so that you will have not too burden if you get another things than what you expected. Can we move to the next slide? Okay, so at first, I thought the first and other panelists will should mention it, but they do not, so I will mention it for you guys. I got to know that Yayasan Terengganu offer scholarship is by the website. It's called Base Initiative. The Base Initiative is the platform where for the SPM leavers or foundation leavers can make a research for what scholarship that's made for their dreams. Like if they want to further study in engineering, then can refer for this website and many more. So, I just want to say or mention that the first for Yayasan Terengganu scholarship assessment is so easy. It's just so short, not too many stage, just like other scholarship. And can we move to the next slide? So, since there are so many scholarship you guys going to apply, I would like to suggest you guys another a method that I use for my scholarship application. That is we call a Agile table. A Agile table is so simple. We have 4 columns. One column is for what it wants to do, like securing your scholarship, and another 3 columns is for ongoings, not start and complete, so that you guys can know which which things you should prioritize during scholarship. Like, you know, in 1 week you can apply like 4 or 3 scholarship at one time, so it can be so measurable. So we've used this table, this method, this can ensure that you guys can manage your application more smoothly. Okay, move to the next slide. So after I apply for my Yayasan Terengganu application, their first assessment is just doing a IQ test and reading test. Yes, I think for this assessment is quite easy compared to Yayasan Khazanah and TNB. For me, Yayasan Terengganu scholarship assessment is quite easy. They just ask a normal IQ test like asas pintar, and I mean like pintar, and also the reading test is just like a normal IELTS or MAT exams. So can we move to the next slide? Thank you. And after I submit my IQ test exam assessment, in 1 week they give me an email for interview and for interview. So at first, I think the third panel already mentioned to you guys to use proper attire and make sure you get a clear or proper haircut. And I will just skip it. Can we move to the next slide? Okay. This is the question I got during my interview, but to make it more realistic, I will just can you let me to talk in Bahasa Melayu for a while? Okay. Semasa saya tengah mengisi application untuk interview, bila saya datang ke kaunter untuk interview yang saya Terengganu, mereka beri saya 1 borang dalam 1 file. Dalam file tu, mereka minta saya buka sebelum 2 jam sebelum interview. So sebelum 2 jam tu saya tak boleh buka file tu. Dan saya dikuarantinkan dalam 1 bilik dengan beberapa orang lain lah yang dapat interview tu juga. Semasa dalam kuarantin tu, mereka selepas 2 jam, lagi 2 jam nak interview, baru mereka benarkan kami untuk buka file tu. Apabila saya buka file tu, saya pelik sebab first page dia adalah tentang isi dokumen saya, seperti nama, IC, sekolah. Itu adalah perkara-perkara yang saya telah isi semasa first apply saya tu. Jadi saya macam sedikit pelik kenapa mereka tanya sekali lagi. Jadi saya isi. Dalam masa 15 minit saya dah siap. Kemudian saya tengok sekeliling, saya rasa pelik. Saya nampak semua kandidat lain menulis agak lama, dalam sekitar 25 minit. Di situ saya berasa sedikit janggal, apa yang menyebabkan diorang mengambil masa yang sangat lama. Kemudian saya perasan kertas tu ada satu lagi muka surat. Dia sangatlah tipis dan bila saya pusing, terdapat soalan. Essay. Soalannya berbunyi, can you enumerate and elucidate 10 distinct reasons why you are deserving of the Terengganu Foundation Scholarship? The length of the response should not exceed 1,000 words. So, they asked me in 2 hours to make a new essay that have a length 1,000 words, and they want 10 distinct reasons why I eligible for this scholarship. So I think they just put me at really high pressure. Like before 2 hours, 2 hours before my interview, I just need to make another essay. So actually, this is why the second panel said for the PNB scholarship, expect the unexpected. The scholarship or the company can make the assessment really creative, and you need to ready for anything that really can surprise you. So yes, that's for my experience for Yayasan Terengganu. Can we move to the next slide? And Alhamdulillah, after my interview, I got the scholarship, but I forgot to mention, during the interview, they also asked me one question that really interesting and made me a little bit regret for my own, because I didn't really reach out about the current situation in our country, Malaysia. Just for your information, they asked me a question about what already happened during that moment, to that month. Like, do you know, or do you guys remember, last year, there's issue about diesel subsidy, the diesel about subsidy about diesel. So the panel interviews asked me a question. What do you think about the what do you think about penarikan subsidi terhadap minyak diesel? Adakah kamu bersetuju atau tidak? So sebenarnya at that moment I realized they ask a thing that relate with their own value. So for my advice to you guys is to make a research. Maybe for company like Maybank, like bank institution scholarship like Bank Negara, CIMB, Maybank, they ask thing that must be relate with their own value. So for state scholarship, of course, they would like us to about something related with their own value. Like maybe for Sabah, for their own bio, like for Sabah, maybe for their um biodiversity, and for my own state, their value is for the biodiesel, the oil. So for me, the question is quite high, and Alhamdulillah, I able to manage to answer it. But now I didn't really remember the answer. So can we move to the next slide? So this is my final presentation, and I just want to wish good luck for you guys for 24 April, that is Thursday, and just pray for you guys to get the best for what you put effort. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Hakim, for that insightful sharing of your experience of your interview. And yeah, I'd say personally, I'm also not that much aware of like state scholarships like Yayasan Johor, Yayasan Terengganu. And so, yeah, that's very good. I think we should all be more aware of like all the opportunities that are available for us. And I think one of the conclusions that I can make based on all our speakers for the night is we were all rejected for something. you, I applied for like 9 scholarships and 7 of them rejected me. Some of us applied for 12 and got only accepted for one. It happens. So the as long as you can seize every opportunity that you have, and just expect the worst possible thing that could happen. Just be mentally prepared, be aware, always be informed, and yeah, all the things that our speakers said, because they went through these experiences themselves, and so I think they would be best to know. Okay, so since all our speakers have shared what they wanted to, I think it is now time you open the floor for any questions that you guys, our audience, have. I'll be reading through the chat, or if any one of you want to speak verbally, you can maybe raise your hand first. And if I call to you, you can speak, or you can just speak if you want. But for now, I think Amani, there was a question directed to you during your speech, and they asked, wait, what was it? Yeah, Haris Naufal, he asked, what was the question given for your essay for PNB essay? I think.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you for the question. So the essay in particular, right? So we have like three slots for us to write about, like very lengthily. The first one is the main essay. So my question during that moment in time is your experience during schooling or college that has the biggest impact on the candidate. So essentially, during that time, I wrote about what I saw during my, I would say, expo in the International Science Convention Fair. I was in Bali and I saw like the disparity between the actual like children there in Bali who were very underprivileged. They had no way to basically, gain education in the first place. And I thought like that is so different from like the students within the science fair itself. So then like what I did within my essay is that I tried to correlate that experience with like how I would really like to champion, financial empowerment. So that is exactly like what the actual prompt was wanting from us. Basically, an experience that changed you or impacted you positively. And then like there were two other like questions. It was, regarding your software or computer skills. So some seniors during that time, they just listed out basically what they were good at, like, writing, I would say maybe code, doing Excel, editing videos or something like that. But what I did was that I wrote a few paragraphs on like my experiences in those particular fields. And then the like third question was about other skills. So this is where I tried to correlate about like my speaking skills, my involvement in debating, my involvement in essay competitions. So that is exactly what those questions were asking for. So I hope that answers your question.
All right. Okay, to all the speakers, if I present the questions, any one of you can answer it. So unless it's directed. I guess one directed one is for Amir, or I could answer it also. For Petronas, can you apply for local and overseas scholarship at the same time? Amir, are you here or not as well? Okay, yeah, Amir, you can take it.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, yes, you can apply to both local and overseas at the same time because sorry. Okay, because there are options for you to choose which course you want to apply for. And I think if I'm not mistaken, that also comes with the country because I think some courses are only available for local. If my memory serves well. Do you remember Alia? My memory is not so good.
Why do
But
I
I
feel like
think
it's not? You can only apply for one, right? It's either you choose overseas or local. Then,
Alamak, differing
yeah.
opinions. Go for the safe option and go with the option that is no. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like there's an option when the website opens that you'll be able to look, but basically there's like a drop bar and you can only choose if you want local or overseas. And
Oh,
because that determines what interview you're gonna be in, if I'm not
that's true.
mistaken.
That's true. Okay, betul. Alia is betul, guys. Listen to Alia.
Okay. Okay, next question for essay. Do you reuse the same essay if two or more scholarships ask a similar question? Okay, I can give my opinion first, but then you guys can answer. For the most part, I've never seen scholarships that ask the same question. They're all different and very interesting. And even if they ask the same question lebih kurang, most of the time it's not the same macam criteria. Like bank is like 250 words, Kazana it's 1000 words. Or like yeah, it's very differing. But macam yeah, I do understand the fact that macam maybe most of the essays will have the same points. You can reuse the points, I guess, if it works to your benefit, macam like life experiences and stuff, right? Yeah, you can reuse them, but macam depending on the criteria, you probably have to tweak it, not like copy paste. I don't think that would work. Yeah. Anyone else has an opinion? Okay. Next question. Can any of you share tips on how we should manage current issues, questions, if we've never read about them before?
May
Anyone want
I
to take?
say,
Yeah, yeah.
um, maybe if you just want to, make it chill, you just use media social, but maybe don't use TikTok or Instagram for that information. I would actually suggest threads. Threads for the current information is quite legit. The people that usually upload the information for the thread is more the person that really experience experience the situation itself. Or you can, other than threads, you can use LinkedIn. The LinkedIn also give more the current situation. So for both two apps, media social, you can use for your current situation research if you may take it chill. But yes, I mean for current situation, just read it one by one and don't just make a research paper about it. Make it chill journey.
Um, okay, from my perspective, okay, maybe you're asking like, do you mean in the interview, it's like they ask you something that you're not really aware of and how you would approach that? If that is what you're asking, because I think that has also happened to me or like my interview mates where they're like questioned with things macam, oh dia tak baca or they macam are not aware. Okay, I think I've been through that too. What I would say is, okay, usually it's like group interviews, right? Unless it's directed, if it's like group, macam, okay, you don't have to be the first speaker. You can let other people speak first, right? Okay, maybe they're more knowledgeable about it and you can let them speak first and that's completely okay. And then personally, I think macam, okay, you dengar like what they say about it. Tapi you don't have to really focus. This is like worst case scenario, okay? This is like last macam last option lah. You listen to what they say and then macam okay, maybe instead okay, you don't know facts, right? But you don't always have to um argue or like present facts. Macam okay, based on what you hear they say, okay, contoh the thing about subsidiaries on petrol or something, right? Okay, kata I didn't know about that. But like once you hear it, okay, what do you feel about it? What are your opinions on it? Do you think it's unfair for society or something? You kind of have to build your thoughts in the interview itself. Tapi macam as long as you can give them an answer, macam yeah, just don't stop talking and you can fake it. Macam oh, you can pretend you know even though you don't. They don't know you don't know. Macam tu lah, kind of like that. Just play into what you have. Listen to other people's opinions. Use that. Macam mix their words. Macam tukar lah. Whatever they say, you say in your words. Boleh je, legit. Okay.
Yeah, totally agree.
Right. Okay, next one. Oh, to men, to the men speakers. What hairstyle is suitable for an interview? Uh, I gotta give it
Hello.
to you guys.
I would say anything that is kamas, please kamas. Don't have this hairstyle. Whatever is this, don't try this hairstyle. Keep it kamas. Trim the sides. Can see your ears. Make sure the hair doesn't cover like your eyeballs like this. Okay, they all want to. The interviewers, they want to see your face. Let everyone see your face. Get to know you. Be kamas. You dress smart. But then if your facial appearance and your hair is all messy, it doesn't work together like that. So please, kemas your hair, go for a haircut the day before. Okay, pakai your minyak rambut or whatever. Okay, just make sure to come to the interview looking smart. Yeah.
Can I ask question?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
For all the scholars, did you all get straight A's and SPM? And for my second question, have you ever seen a student that gets scholars but doesn't get straight A's in SPM?
Yes. It's
There's also someone who asked, like, for us, each of us to tell our results. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, I feel like
Okay.
they
No
stated
problem.
like whether or not we got straight A's. So like
Actually,
yeah, I got
the
A's.
scholarship to get, even though you don't get straight A, is YTP-MARA, and don't get often if any of you get YTP-MARA. But I have my friend that 6A, 7A, they easily get the YTP-MARA, but for local, but for overseas, obviously no.
Yeah.
For me also, I have a friend who, sorry, there's a lot of noise, but I have a friend who got 8A, 1B, and then they still got Petronas local scholarship. So there are still opportunities if you don't get straight A's, but not so bad with your results.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, As personally, I don't know. I guess for me, I did get straight A's, but yeah, I do have a friend. He got like 6 A's. I'm not sure, but what I know because this stand out a lot. He got 1 C. Just he got a C in non maths, but he still got a scholarship. So like, literally, you never know. Just try. Just try applying to everything, even if it's if you get just one, like then that's yours, okay. Okay, that answer your question. Okay. The next question is, may I know the name of the website for the essay writing that Kak Amani shared? Amani,
All right.
you.
Uh, yeah, okay. So essentially what I shared within the slide is the scholar dashboard from Base Initiative. So before that, I had been recommended by my friend to seek out mentors, and also like I've seen like a lot of people saying that it's always good for you to have like a mentor to guide you throughout the application process. So I basically looked at the catalog that was available there. So just basically like search up Base Initiative, or maybe you can try to just basically reach out to every single like scholar that you know. But essentially that's like the modus operandi. Try to have a mentor. Yeah.
Okay, there's a question inquiring about English proficiency. What are the requirements of English proficiency, and do we need to speak very fluently during interview? Anyone want to answer?
I think I can try answering. I would say that for scholarship interviews, you don't necessarily have to be the most proficient in your usage of the English language. However, it will put you at least on, it will give you an advantage, but you don't need to have, the best pronunciation or the best speaking style or intonation. You don't have to be a national debater or public speaker to do well in your interview. The main focus is that you are able to share your ideas, in a concise manner, clearly enough for your interviewer and your group members to understand and get your point across. That is the most important thing. Don't need to try sounding like Ahmad Saleh. That's not going to get you the scholarship. That's not the focus. Yeah.
Okay. Yep, that's very true. Okay. Next up question. Ada tak dokumen yang perlu disediakan untuk beasiswa generally? Or dokumen tambahan yang luar biasa atau jarang diminta? Dokumen luar biasa? How does that work? Okay.
Luar biasa. I've seen somewhere that I was it Mara or JPA-MARA that wanted like sijil nikah, if I'm not mistaken, of your parents. As like it's an optional thing, but I remembered that being like a standout application, like part of it is optional. Is that true? Can the JPA-MARA scholar confirm that?
Sorry, once again.
A standout documentation. I remember there was like an option for you to submit the sijil nikah of your parents. Is that true? I remember that being a standout thing.
Oh, actually, in my case, I didn't bring any documents during my times, and even I see some people's bring it. It's like unnecessary, and they doesn't even take it. Just bring the documents that inform you that you are selected for the interview. I think that's all for the JPA.
Yeah, honestly, it very much depends on your scholarship and what they want. Not your scholarship. I mean, when you're applying, then you read through like what they want. It's very like scholarship specific. Tapi for the most part, like normal things lah, macam IC or like CJ Berana. And maybe a mental preparation for everyone is like you have to apa cak pengesahan. Like yeah, that is like a bit of a hassle thing to do. So macam make sure you have everyone's IC like stamped and disahkan, like your parents, yours, things like that, because that I think memang guna for all the scholarships, but like yang luar biasa punya dokumen tu, yeah, it depends, tak banyak pun, maybe ada, I don't recall sangat lah. Okay. Oh
Sorry
yeah.
to explain. I think just for the Shell scholarships, they as the application is online, so like they ask you for like optional if you want to submit your resume or not. I think that's only the scholarship that asks for resume, I think.
Okay,
So
actually,
like
may I add on to that? Actually, YTN also requires a resume, both like video resume and also a traditional resume. So you can look forward to that as well.
Haikal, I think there's a question for you. Someone asked, wait, where was it? I saw that you've joined Asia Youth MUN. Is it board or you pay it for yourself?
So actually, I didn't join it as the participants, but I joined it as the committee or like the people that manage the program. So basically, I just apply it online through their Instagrams. So the program is fully free lah. But I think if you're joined as the participants, the fee is like uh thousands. So maybe if you want to try it, can join in as the committee itself or like find your own sponsorship. Because if I'm not mistaken, there's some applicants from Malaysia, like they find sponsorships from the YB or like from your own university or institution.
Someone asked if you guys have any recommendations of like websites to research current issues, or yeah.
Yeah, I think I can answer that. Stemming from my experience as a debater, it's always good for you to go to, I would say, news websites and understand that every single news outlet has their own biases, meaning to say that some news sites would be a lot more conservative, some would be a lot more liberal, and some other would be a lot more centric. So I would always recommend you to go for the centric, more news source. So for global issues, go to Reuters. If you know, you know. So that is like what I would recommend. Reuters and Al Jazeera English. But for, I would say, local, then always look for like the local news source, maybe News Straits Times, Berita Harian Metro. Those are credible resources that you can actually quote during your interview. So be sure to look up for them in your like process for researching. But if you don't really like to, I would say, read a lot, then it's always good for you to opt for video essays as well, because usually like video essays would actually try to discuss about topics very lengthily. So then you can actually grab those points within like those videos so that you can use for your interview. If that answers the question, then yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah, that's great. I wish I knew about that before I went into interviews. Okay. Oh, there's a person who inquired if during PETRONAS interviews we can bring our phones into this session. I think I can take this, Amir. No, you're not allowed to. I think it's the same for all interviews. I'm not sure. I didn't go to all of them lah, but PETRONAS specifically because there's only one interview in person. So no, you're not allowed to. You only go like you masuk with your body je. Like that's it. Even pen and paper they give to you. So yeah. Okay, next question. Let me see. Mm. Hi, I'm sorry if this question comes out rude, but do you guys or other scholarship holders actually use AI to write your essays? I mean, like nowadays they already have AI essay detectors, something like that. I just wanted to know, does assessors take using AI as a big deal? Do you guys wanna?
I have a point. It's different or depends on the scholarship itself. Like it's not me, but my friends. He use AI for Yayasan Khazanah application, and actually Yayasan Khazanah the application doesn't identify or recognize the essay as an AI writing. So my friend just got past the first application stage and he do the assessment stage. So for Yayasan Khazanah, at that time, AI writing is not recognized. But for BNM, yeah, for BNM scholarship, my friend use the same style for an essay based or written by AI. But BNM is really smart. They really can recognize the essay is written by AI. So the application is failed. So it's actually depend on the scholarship company itself how they recognize the AI writing. Yes. That's from me.
Anyone else has to say? I think it's like, okay, yeah, AI is everywhere. Literally, you can AI your SPM, I guess, if you're allowed to. Tapi macam, honestly, it's like, okay, maybe you can use AI as like, okay, it's supposed to be helpful, right? You maybe you prompt it so you can get ideas or macam those fancy words ke apa to make it look nice. Tapi honestly, because like the whole point of the essay is for them to like get to know you and understand how you are as a person, like how you stand out, yada yada. So you guys do realize that what AI does is it takes input, it processes, and it gives out output. So like what it's doing is literally macam it's combining everything that it can as input and then like spitting it back out as an essay. So much of it's not original, it's not based on your experiences. Maybe it sounds nice, so macam in the terms of like general stuff, macam, oh, I'm confident, yada yada. I mean, yeah, you can prompt it by giving your experiences and asking them to write the essay. Tapi macam honestly, no, why not take the chance to review the essay by your own? I guess that's just my personal opinion. Because at the end of the day, the whole point of the essay is macam for you to reflect about yourself and for them to understand you better. Yeah, but I'm not stopping you from using it as a tool to macam make it helpful because yeah, because it's a scholarship, right? It's a really big thing and you don't want to mess it up. So macam use it to your benefit, but like do it at your own risk and understand that yeah, so companies are way more smarter now and they do understand that AI can do that. So that's my take on that. Okay, next question. Um, have you guys yap your way through a question when you have no idea what they are asking? That's so funny. Do you guys wanna?
Hmm, yang soalan interview saya dapat pasal Dessel tadi. Ya, masa tu saya betul tak tahu. Dessel tu sebenarnya salah saya sendiri lah. Saya tak tahu pun Dessel tu pakai untuk apa. Sedikit untuk kita macam biasa, kereta motor yang biasa, kereta jalan biasa. Rupanya Dessel ni untuk kenderaan berat. So, saya cuma bagi tahu example yang sangatlah salah. Contohnya, driver Grab dan Grab Food. So, example tu tak betul sebab minyak diesel tu hanya untuk kenderaan berat. So kat situ menunjukkan betapa saya tidak mengambil tahu isu semasa. Jadi tapi alhamdulillah masih dapat survive dengan soalan-soalan lain.
Okay, yeah, so moral of the story, just yeah. Sumpah just yeah. They do not know that you don't know. Or like, just be confident and say whatever. Because okay, don't make it oh, you immediately go into panic when you get a question that you don't know how to tackle or something. As I said before, it's like, okay, maybe you listen to someone else first, then you like use their points or something in your own way. Or just be honest about it. Just say what you do know. Or some opinions like that. Yeah, but it's completely okay. And then like in Luqman's case, okay, that's one question he like got wrong, but it's completely okay. There are more questions for you to answer and to prove yourself. So yeah, don't go into panic. That's the most important thing. Okay. Next question. I think we'll be taking questions at like 11 or maybe 11:10, something like that, if that's okay with the speakers. Okay. So we should still apply even when we don't meet scholarship requirements, or do we still need to meet the requirements? What do you guys think about this?
Okay.
Okay.
I think this particular question has been like rephrased before and has been answered in a way that even if you don't meet the requirement, just try to apply because you never know what will actually happen during like the, I would say, vetting process that the assessor goes through. So maybe even if you don't have like the good grades or like you don't meet the requirements, maybe some other type of like assessment is conducted based on your essay, for instance. Your essay is super good, you have the qualities, qualities that they're looking for. So essentially some parts may outweigh other parts, but if you don't meet the requirements, just try to apply. Don't give up, guys. Okay.
Okay, Amani, someone asked that the fact you mentioned not to be cocky in an interview, and can you elaborate on that point?
Yeah, sure. So being cocky, like I would say from my own personal experience, I've seen okay, a person did something akin to like, okay, I'm very good at yada 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 because I did yada yada yada, and they did not talk about like the contributions that were made by their teammates or something like that. Or maybe being cocky is essentially like, you know, pushing others aside, meaning to say that if you were to be in a group interview, right? Like for me, for instance, and you discredited like other people's points during that particular interview, and then you said like, okay, I'm the only person that is correct in this room, then that is considered to be cocky. And also, if you were to, you know, talk about things that you don't know in a manner that is like matter of factually, like you yap, but in a way that sounds, you know, arrogant, like you're superior, then that is basically something that you should avoid. So in order for you to avoid that is for you to basically try to show yourself as like humble, in the sense that you're basing your actual points on facts, or if not facts, then observations of like, you know, actual experiences that you analyze in a way that is like not skewed in a discriminatory manner, if that makes sense. So I guess base your points on facts if possible, but if not, then try to make it like not discriminatory. So yeah.
Okay. Then someone asked about like the documentation and stuff. One of it is, do we need to certify true copy or like give all our certificates from Form 1 to Form 5 participation? I think the answer is no. Like, yeah, the easy answer is no. You do not need all your certificates from your participation from 1 sampai Form 5. I think for the most part, okay, kan like our teachers or like our counselors couple, diorang selalu cakap macam, okay, kumpul your CJ, like compile them to a file, give them to your sponsors or whatever. Tapi, I think ada ke? Maybe ada satu or dua je scholarship yang actually minta benda tu. Macam the rest of them don't. They don't want to see your certificates. Like, I remember bringing them like my pretty file, sudah cantik, I laminated everything. I bawa, macam terus apa nak? Nobody wanted it. Petronas, bank, like they all said, nah, keep that to yourself. So we don't want to see that. Because like genuinely macam, yeah, those are just sijil. Basically, macam they want to see you as a person and how you present yourself, how you work as a team, macam how you carry yourself, how you talk, things like that lah. Macam the way you do it to bring up your participation is through the way you talk, macam during the interviews ke apa. So bring it out through experiences or things like that. But definitely not dari Form 1. Maybe kalau ye pun like recent Form 5, Form 4 maybe. But yang sijil tak payah certify kan, sijil tak payah. And then another person asked if slip gaji parents kena. The answer is yes. Slip gaji parents kena certify. And if your parents are self-employed, I don't remember specifically, but there's a guideline lah basically. When you are applying, they will give you a guideline if they ask for slip gaji, how you are supposed to certify that. Do you remember, Amani? Or Luqman or anyone? You guys remember? It's like self-employed.
Yeah, actually, I remember you have the option of basically asking your ketua kampung if like you're
Oh.
living in a residential area yang ada ketua kampung, then you can ask them. Or if not, then you can actually ask like a government officer yang gaji, not gaji, like dia punya like position tu, dia ada like specific position. Tapi I'll look into that, and then like after I dapat, I bring kat sini. Okay?
Okay, if anyone wants to answer this, there's a question about, is there any particular style of writing an essay? And like, how do you sound authentic in your essay?
Authenticity, I think it comes from like, if you make your details very specific to your experience, right? Like you mentioned in your essay that you joined a competition, like public speaking, then maybe you can basically detail out like what the effect was like for you. Like dekat mana, buat apa, like basically like your own experiences, but you know, name things. Like for instance, if you like a particular type of chocolate, try to, you know, basically tell what the brand is, like what type of chocolate, or like why you like it. Maybe the one way that I would say is like a surefire way to make it sound authentic is that when you write it, you don't sound like a robot, and that it has specific details that are only relevant to you. So you have to do like a very deep reflection on that. So I think like if any other speaker wants to add, then yeah, that's basically it for me.
Yeah, do you guys have anything? Okay. Okay, can move on to the next question. Oh, I think people have been inquiring whether or not our meetings are uploaded anywhere. I'm quite sure they'll be uploaded on YouTube afterwards, and the past talks have also been uploaded, and tonight's talk will also be uploaded. So follow Chris IG for more for more information. Okay, next question. May I ask if scholarships need a resume or not? Um, Sarah?
Resumes. I have experience in applying for YPM, YTN, and Shell. So usually when you have like achieved like almost the final stage, this is like the stage before the final stage. For Yayasan Telecom and Yayasan Tenaga Nasional, you do need to send in your resume. And then for Shell, you have the option like that was mentioned before by Afiq to either send your resume or CV. If you don't want to, then it's okay. But for other scholarships, I'm not really sure. What do you guys think?
Oh, yeah, I think this is also very scholarship specific. Like with the thing where I brought all my binder with all my sigil and everything. Some of the scholarships, like I tried to give them my resume, but they just like, straight up rejected me. They were like, nah, I do not want to see that. Some because they already read through your I don't know essays or siya yang isi everything kind because it's already on that. So the things on your resume would probably be the same things. But yeah, just I think it would be best for you guys to prepare one like a really professional, nice resume, just in case you need to upload it anywhere or you can bring it physically. And if they don't want to see it, then they'll tell you. But it's completely okay for you to be prepared and bring it. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I think a few more questions. Um, is it okay to say that I don't know, but not directly in an interview? Because I've heard from other scholarships that interviews are actually okay with it. Like to not directly say I don't know, but to say I don't know. You guys think it's okay?
I think I can answer this one. All right. So basically, like in my JPA interview, like one of the question for the individuals parts, they ask like uh specifically like for each of us, like which university that we want to go for your country. And then like in my groups they have like people in UK, in Japan, and me myself I'm applying for the US. So like during that time, since I applied for US programs only for JPA, and then for another scholarships I applied it for UK. So basically I didn't do much research and doesn't even really care like which university that I really want to go and do a lot of research about it. So basically, I don't know like which university that I want to go and what's the advantages or like what's the drawbacks of the university. So I just being honest and said like, oh, actually I'm so sorry. Like you can like just minta maaf at first, and then like but I still didn't do a lot of research about this. But if I'm selected for the scholarships, I will do a lot more research about my current about my future universities, and then like you can like tell them also like what do you want to do, like for examples in my case I tell them like I will contact some of the peoples that I've seen online through social media that's already went at the universities. For examples like I've always seen like one of girls like going to Stanford in YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, and that I talk about the girl in my interview sessions, even though I'm not really want to go to university, but I told them like it's like one of my way to like knowing which university that I want to go. So basically, it's okay if you don't know about the things, and you can just say what you can do to know more about the question. I think that's all.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Okay, I think we'll take like one last question. from the chat. And if you guys still want to inquire more, then you can hit us up anywhere. You can hit KERIS up or like contact us. We'll leave all our socials. Okay, like one last question. Do you guys find group interviews intimidating? Because I'm from a regular good old SMK and I'm scared these boarding school kids gonna crush me during interviews.
Can I answer that? Okay. So first of all, a lot of scholars are surprisingly from, well, not surprisingly, but a lot of them are actually from regular good old SMKs, including myself. I'm not a kid from MRSM or any boarding school, and trust me, it's not about the school that they go to. It all depends on the individual. You could be the smartest person from MRSM, you could be the top student at SBP, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to perform well during an interview. And during an interview, anything can happen. You could be the best debater in the country, the best public speaker in the country, but all it takes is one slip up of your words, or a miscommunication of the points that you're trying to bring during the interview, and you can lose the scholarship. So don't really feel intimidated by the people that you will meet during the interviews. Perhaps try to adopt a more optimistic mindset, and be confident and excited that you're given the opportunity not to compete against these individuals, but the chance to work together with them in the group interview, the chance to work with these talented individuals to come up with a solution, and to mutually, all together get the scholarship. And that was the mindset that I used and I went with during my interview, because I know that I'm going into this interview with a lot of incredible people. But why not, instead of trying to compete with one another, we work together so that not just me, but all of us can secure that scholarship. And we did. So yeah.
Yeah, anyone else want to pitch in? No? Okay. I think I could give my 2 cents a bit about this issue. Even though, okay, I'm not SMK, I'm from MRSM, but even so, there's this kind of like, I think, stigma or stereotype that we are all well aware of, that macam SBP is top, then it's like maybe MRSM, then maybe it's SMK. Supa, please get that mindset out of your head. Macam that is not true, like, at all. Macam all of us are like maybe born in different circumstances, we're exposed to different opportunities, we some experience different things. Maybe bukan rezeki for you to masuk SBP, masuk MRSM or anything. Macam everyone works just as hard and we're all trying our best. And macam no matter what, we all come from different backgrounds and you never know. Macam tadi budak SBP tapi dia pun like ditaja, or maybe they're also struggling. They might be just as scared as you are. Maybe they are intimidated of you. You literally do not know. Macam please get the mindset out of your head that macam, oh, having this certain title means they are better than me in any way. Macam sumpah tak. Just be genuine, be authentic, like be confident you worked hard, you're there. If you like get the interview, sumpah you all are all the same. Macam faham tak? Korang semua sama level lah. Since you pun dapat the interview, you're already there. So macam sama je. And then like even not just during interviews that you have to hold on to this mindset, but also macam even going into college, if you do get the scholarship, macam then like you go to college macam with these prestigious people also, macam budak SPP ke apa ke semua. Tapi like you learn that everyone is just the same. We're all just as scared and we're all learning as we go. Most of us don't even know what we're doing. So far, like even us as scholars pun sama je, honestly. I think that's what I have to say. And instead of like being scared or intimidated by them, like instead try making friends. Macam try getting to know them, like humanize them basically, because maybe in your head like, oh, they're so cool, they have so much more information or more knowledge than me. Macam don't do that. Instead macam, oh yeah, they're also people and they're also nervous for an interview. And so macam get to know them and like make friends. And that's the best part of interviews. Yeah, so that's what I have to say about that. Okay. I'm so sorry if there are any more questions. But I think we all have school tomorrow. And so yeah, we should be wrapping up the session. So if anyone has any more questions, please feel free to reach out to any of us. So check out KERIS punya IG. I think they'll be tagging all of us. So with that, I think it brings us to the end of our last session of the KERIS sharing. So thank you so much everyone for tuning in up until the very end. Love you so much. I hope you guys leave tonight with more clarity, confidence, and maybe even a list of scholarships to apply to. Just try all of them. Sumpah. Just apply to everything as long as you have the opportunity. And please remember that it's completely okay if you're not a straight A student. I hope you for the best for your results this Thursday. Kami sini doa banyak-banyak. But it's completely okay, okay? Keep your heart open. Teruskan berdoa. Like, keep your options open semua. And take care. Good luck. Do any of you speakers have any last words to say? No? All good? Okay. Please enjoy your application season. Please make new friends, connect with everyone because you never know you're gonna meet them again, like in college, in university. Everything, have fun, be professional. Like, yeah, you're 18. Like, please, dah college. Sumpah, like you
Oh,
guys are
wait,
adults.
can I add? Can I add?
Yeah.
Okay. If you guys have any more questions, please do not be afraid to reach out to any one of us through social media. Okay. All right. That's all.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Good night. Have fun. Oh, korang tak sekolah. Kita orang yang sekolah. Okay, bye.